All right, Chris, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Always a pleasure. So, I guess for those that don't know you, want to want to introduce yourself for the folks at home?
You bet. Chris Turney, I am the founder and chair of Wings for Water, husband of a beautiful girl,
Mhm.
and proud dad of two.
Awesome. Appreciate that. So, I figured we'll kind of jump right into this. So, I mean, do you mind tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, so Wings for Water, I'll give you the 1 minute version. And the cool thing about Zoom is there's a timer, so I can be held accountable to
Yeah.
this. So I had had a kind of a chicken wing deal on my patio for a lot of years with the youth group at our church. And in 2017, one of my buddies made the stupidest statement that anyone's ever made to me. He said that his chicken legs were better than my wings. And I couldn't stand it, Seth. So I had a little cook-off arranged on my patio. The deal, and he was a Patriots fan, by the way. The Chiefs were going to play the Patriots in the first game of that season, the NFL season. So I said, okay, here's the deal, bud. You bring your chicken legs over to my patio. I'll cook my wings. But we'll watch the Chiefs beat up on the Patriots, and we'll have 10 of our buddies come over. They'll eat your legs and my wings. They'll vote for their favorite with money, and whoever gets the most money gets to donate the entire pot to the charity of his choice. And well, before we actually got to do that, as my wife would tell you, no idea can stay small in my mind. I had a live band set up to come play. We had about 100 people wanted to come out, and 8 guys that wanted to compete. So my wife wisely kicked us off the patio, said, "No, you can't do it here." So we rented out the community center at Winterset Park. And, Seth, we just had a ball. It was September of 2017, the perfect weather you could even imagine. We had 8 guys out there cooking their wings. Literally about 150 people came out. The Chiefs did beat the Patriots.
Nice.
And, we raised about $1,500 for clean water efforts. So that kind of started the idea, Wings for Water. And so 2018, I formed the 501c3 to set up the nonprofit. And well, year after year, it's just kind of continued to grow to now we're a pretty large community event.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of things that unpack there. So even the first year that you did this, there were 150 people showed up.
There were, yeah, the community really just loved the idea, got behind it.
Yeah. And so I know that's grown every year since. So we're going into year nine this year. Is that right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, this September 4th is going to be year 9.
All right. And so, do you know roughly how many people you had last year? So if we compare 150 in year one, how many did you have in year eight?
That's a fair question. Because we don't sell tickets, we
Yeah.
don't really know head count, but the estimates that, our friends at Paragon Star, based on their camera system and all the stuff, we estimate about 5,000 people came through last year.
So it's grown quite a bit. So I think that's something worth bringing up. I think I forgot to ask because I know how it works, but if a person wants to attend, what can they expect on the day of the event? How does the event unfold?
Great question. So the primary way is you just come out, and that we've always wanted to keep it open to the public. You just show up, and I tell you, our community does. From 6 o'clock to about 8:30, you can come out and just eat a wing from as many of our competitors as you want. The only thing we ask is that you vote for your favorite with money. We have a couple of different ways to vote. I won't get into those weeds, but there's a couple of ways to vote. What we guarantee you is that 100% of your vote money is going to go to clean water efforts. Now, because it's become a pretty popular event, something about free chicken wings is really easy to sell, Seth. So, because it's so popular, we kind of run out of parking. And so we have recently started a deal last year where you can actually pay to come out early. And when I say to pay to come out early, we have two packages. One of them's $100, one of them's $250. For the $100, you get 150 votes, so you kind of get bonus money going to clean water efforts. For the $250, you actually get 400 votes, and so you have an extra $150 going to clean water efforts, and we're able to match that. We fund that gap with the excess money that we have from our sponsors, so you can really make a dent in the global water crisis by paying to come out early. The benefit for you is obviously you get guaranteed parking. So you're going to be able to find a parking spot.
Right.
You come out, you eat the wings early. So you can come out as early as 4:30, okay, in the afternoon when the whole, open to the public starts at 6. Um, and we obviously have these little gift bags and all that stuff that we give out to our early access people. But you can buy those online, and we sell those early access packages on our website. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Just come out after 6 o'clock, and hopefully you find a parking spot.
Okay. Is the parking something fairly new? Is
Well,
that
yeah, we just, anyone who's been out to Paragon Star, there's like, I think 8 soccer fields, maybe 10,
yeah.
but there's three major parking lots out there. We take about half of one of them for the actual event, and the other ones fill up in just 20 minutes. It's crazy how much those parking lots filled up. And so yeah, that's one of the downsides of, coming with the general public is you may or may not be able to find a parking
I see.
spot.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the way that I've always done it is I'll grab my son after soccer practice when his appetite is good and big. I'll give him $25. Him and his buddies will sample a bunch of wings, and then they'll go back through, and then they'll donate $5 each to their top five wings.
Oh, great way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, our sponsors love that too. We have a lot of kids that come out, and not every wing is hot. And I know there are some people that judge a wing based on how hot it is, but there's other people that just want a good creative wing. And that's the other really neat thing is because the folks that come out and compete, and for context, last year we had 50 competitors. And, so these are companies that have their employees come out and cook wings all day. Some of them are companies that have a competition barbecuer come out. So it's a good way. Even if you're a backyard barbecuer, you can come out and compete against competitive barbecue teams. We are KC Barbecue Society sanctioned,
Oh,
and
nice.
so we have a component during the afternoon where we have 40 certified barbecue judges or CBJs.
Mhm.
They come out, and there's a double blind tasting. And so we have an official KC Barbecue Society chicken wing champion of our
Nice.
event every year too. So even if you're just a backyard cook, you want to come out and put your wings up against these others, you can absolutely do that. But the sponsors love interacting with the community. We have a lot of kids that come out, we have a lot of families that come out, and it's just a great time for that whole community to interact and collide with each other.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So you mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned the sponsors a few times, and then you've also mentioned the cause. You keep talking about clean water efforts. Did you want to take a couple minutes talking about each of those, about
Oh
the
yeah.
sponsors that help put on these events, and then the cause that you're ultimately benefiting?
I absolutely, and I'm gonna just apologize right off the bat with 50 competitors. I'm sure a lot of them will understand if I'm not plugging their specific
Yeah.
names here, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of trying and true. They've been OGs, I call them, the original competitors. UMB was one of the first sponsors that we've ever had, and every year they're at the highest sponsorship level. They have a team come out called Meet Rushmore, and Meet Rushmore will cook for them. They're just a fun group of folks, but they're competition barbecuers and they do well. In fact, they did so well, they're opening the restaurant at KCI
Oh,
because
wow.
they won the grand championship this recent barbecue tournament where that was their prize. And so anyone flying in and out of KCI, go check out Meet Rushmore.
Mhm.
We've had UMB, Black and Veatch, Creative Planning. Some of these large companies in our town are supporting our cause.
Mhm.
But then we have local Kansas City or local Lee Summit folks that are coming out. Anything from local insurance agents to realtors. A lot of our local businesses, Bridge Space has always been a huge supporter of us. And it's just a neat thing. Companies of any size can come out and compete and really have that good interaction with the community.
Mhm.
You had asked about the grants. So what we do is I have a board, and so every year after the event, we look at the income, what it costs to run the event versus what we brought in. And we grant all but just a few $1,000s. That few $1,000s that we keep just funds the next year's event.
Mhm.
And so we grant every other dime. No one makes any money on this. We grant everything else out to organizations that do anything from digging wells to putting in water purification panels to giving filters to single mothers in impoverished countries. Recently, Veterans Without Orders got a grant from us, and as we speak, literally right now, Seth, they're in Malawi, over in Africa, and he's John Nonamaker, a friend of mine with Veterans Without Orders, sent me some videos. These mamas in this village are so excited to have their buckets that have filters attached to them. They're not going to have to haul water for miles anymore. And it's just the neatest video that he sent me because Wings for Water was able to grant, a bit of money over there to complete their funding. So that's all this community, the
Yeah.
community that comes together to do this every year.
Yeah, and that's great, and I love things like that where it's grown to this, but it started off as just kind of two guys talking trash to each other about whose wings were better, and then evolved into this really great thing. I mean, those are the types of origin stories that I get excited about. So
It's a lot of fun, and I'm just gonna throw out there that it's God's will behind all this. That's the most amazing thing about it all is it starts off as this weird little idea, like you said, this little pride thing, and pride before the fall. We know pride's not a good thing, but God turned that into something amazing, man. And the impact that we see just year after year it's so fun. It really is.
did you want to talk at all about the Guinness Book of World Records or World Cup?
That's an interesting thing. So the current Guinness Book of World Record holder for the number of chicken wings served at an event is 692.8 pounds of wings, I think. And it was some organization in China that had a big wing cook-off. And we started looking into that. And we thought, you know what? Last year, 2024, we served 3,900 pounds of wings. We almost served 2 tons of wings. And so we've blown the Guinness Book of World Records out the window, but it's not official because we haven't had them come out to our event yet. So this year we've been looking for potential private fundraising opportunities for companies who kind of want to get their name associated with this world record. One thing I don't want to do is use water money to just get Guinness to come over here because that really defeats our purpose of being about the water efforts. But yeah, we've been talking to some companies locally, seem pretty interested in supporting that part of it. And we're still pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to have Guinness Book come out this year to certify us as the world's largest chicken wing cook-off.
Well, in the off chance that someone watching this wants to help donate, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you or to follow up on that?
I give you the easiest path is go to our website, wings number 4water.org. There's an info email address on that webpage. Just find it and click that and send a little note. It'll come right to me, come right to my phone. And if anyone's interested in helping with that effort, I'd love to hear from them.
Okay, cool. Um, so what do you do outside of Wings for Water? What's your day job?
Outside of Wings for Water, I actually work.
Yeah.
It's funny. That hobby takes a bit of my time this time of year, but my day job is I'm a lawyer, and that's usually when people quit talking to me. But I represent companies and professionals who get sued, and so kind of the I'm against the billboard folks that you all see a lot of times, and trying to support the economy and commerce through defending the companies and professionals who get sued.
Okay. Going through my other questions here. What do you do outside of work?
Well, I absolutely love my family. I adore my wife. I married way out of my league, and she's amazing. We have 2 kiddos. My son just graduated from Summit Christian Academy, so he'll be starting college this fall. And my daughter is turning 15 this fall, and we chase her around soccer fields nonstop. She's big into soccer, but it's a family effort with Wings for Water. They all contribute in different ways, and but that's a lot of fun. I enjoy pickleball and golf and poker and the kind of normal things that someone who, if I had hair, it would all be white or gray. Things that those folks would enjoy. Yeah.
So, last two questions that I have at least written down, then we got the speed round. But so,
Oh, speed
you know,
round. All right.
big emphasis on people on what the why, the purpose. So, like if we're thinking of Wings for Water, and obviously it's kind of labor of love. So, what would you say is the why behind you rebooting that thing and making it bigger every year?
It's community.
Yep.
I know the right answer is charity. The right answer is philanthropy, but a lot of people can just write a check, right, to pay for water filters or to pay for, a filtration system or a well. It's great. But the thing that makes this a little bit more unique and really becomes a passion project is the way that this community just leans right in. And it's really fun to be out at a restaurant or somewhere, and down Lee Summit. It's like, hey, you're the Wings for Water dude. And, it's kind of fun, because people know about the event now and never intended it to turn into what it's turned into. And again, I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to mention it every day until the day I die. It's God's thumbprint on this thing, and just seeing what He does with this, it's just, yeah, it just charges me. It's really fun.
Well, to the community aspect, I will say that like anytime I pass someone else wearing one of the, like a Wings for Water t-shirt just out in the street, I always say like, "Hey, dude, like a shirt."
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of a little tribe, the people who have been to it before kind of know. And my guess is if you come once, you come back because there's not a lot of reasons not to.
Yeah. Well, that was my goal for a couple of years. I would try to bring a new person with me each year. So start off at, just if I could get one friend and his kid to come. And the next year, I already knew they were going to come anyway. So I had to find another friend and his kid. And then each year, I would try to make sure just, one more, friend and a kid
Oh,
came.
you're part of the movement,
All right,
man. I
man.
appreciate that.
So, what advice would you give, if you kind of consider yourself in the nonprofit, charitable, philanthropic world? What advice would you give someone who wants to try to get into that? Or
Wonderful question. Find something that you enjoy doing and just lean into it. We're in an age where a lot of people are trying to monetize different things. And don't get me wrong, I love that. It's great for the economy, it's great for commerce, it's great for ingenuity. Um, but as you're looking for ways to monetize something, don't forget the fact that you could monetize it for a greater impact than just pocketbook, right? And people who love playing golf tend to be drawn toward organizing golf tournaments, right, for fundraisers. But think about anything that you really love to do. What are you passionate about doing? And lean into ways to be creative to try and figure out a way to monetize that for the greater impact.
okay, ready for the speed round? So the background
Okay,
of
let's
this
go.
was is someone else's idea, right? There is just kind of a series of questions that are meant to be. I'll read them fast. Don't take a whole long. First thing that comes to your mind. So this can be an either or question. You can answer one or both, right? But what book are you currently reading, and or what book would you recommend?
Okay. Currently reading Prayer by Timothy Keller. He's a
Mhm.
brilliant dude, and rest in peace. But it's a great book. Anyone who's looking to deepen their prayer life, I would highly recommend it. I just need to finish it.
All right. Who would you like to give a shout out to and why?
Oh, well, of course, my family,
Mhm.
right? I mean, they're the big inspiration. And I'm going to give a secondary one. Defeats the purpose of a speed round is the steering committee and the board for Wings for Water, because that's what we're talking about today. This steering committee has saved my life because as big as this thing has gotten, it's nothing that I can do alone.
Mm. All right.
Yeah.
And it's funny now that I'm reading this question myself, I'm not sure how applicable it is, but let's give it a shot. So it's you are in insert role here. So you're the guy that runs Wings for Water. What would you say to a prospect who's on the fence as to whether or not to buy your service?
Yeah. The one thing that I would
Again,
say is
maybe we're a square peg round hole with this, but let's see what you got.
no, no. It's a question. The best way to sell is ask a question, right?
There
Here's
you
my
go.
question to anyone listening to this podcast who's on the fence about coming out to Wings for Water. Do you like chicken wings? If the answer is yes, for all that's
Right.
absolutely.
So maybe a question that didn't make the list is so besides your own, do you have any, or do you have a short list of some of the favorite wings or most creative wings you had, or are you even allowed to answer that? Are you afraid that if you answer that, you're going to offend all the people that you don't recommend?
Harsha Wingus Khan. Yes, I am. I am afraid to answer because I
Yeah.
don't want to offend people. But Kyle Harsha Wingus Khan.
Okay.
Always a favorite. I will also say that Mitch Shields was one of our only individual competitors,
Mhm.
and he has a chicken and waffles wing that he
Well, I was going to bring
smokes,
up.
and he has like a maple glaze on, and he puts a piece of honeycomb on top. Brilliant, just creative. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
so
so
many good wings. Yeah.
yeah. So if you didn't bring up the chicken and waffles, I was going to because that's the one that stands out to me. The guy, it's a maple glaze, like a maple syrup. He sparks it, drops it with like one of those honeycomb cereal.
Yep.
So I don't
Let,
know
let
where
me
else you can
ask
get
you,
stuff
who
like
do you
that.
think he's cooking for this year? What brilliant law firm in Kansas City is he cooking for this year?
Is it yours?
Yeah, Attorney
Let's hear it.
LG. I roped him in. He's cooking for us this year.
Well, good.
Ah,
Well, cool. Those are all the questions I had. Can you think of anything I
awesome.
didn't think to ask? I could hit the end button here, but I'm imagining we're at the tail end of this thing. I just don't know how to wrap it up.
Well, here's I want to wrap it up by flipping it on you. I got two questions for you.
All right.
Why do you love coming out to Wings for Water, Seth?
So, like I said, kind of the community thing. It's this thing that me and my son do together, and I don't know if it's like chicken or the egg, not to use a pun, but he really really likes chicken wings now. And so when we go to restaurants, if they have chicken wings, that's what he's ordering. And I like to think that it was because he and I. So the first day that we ever went out, I picked him up for baseball practice. It was a hot day, early September, and I just remember his mom saying, "Hey, come straight home. We have this other stuff going on. Don't screw around." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen." And so on the way from practice or the way home, we stopped there. We had some wings, and everything would have worked out fine. But we bumped into some friends that also know my wife, who ratted us out.
Oh
And
no.
so to this day, we joke that like, yeah, that was the Wings for Water that we didn't go to, even though everyone clearly knows that we did. So now it's just kind of this fun annual tradition. And like I said, I try to get another friend to come out and just experience it. And usually, if they can come out once, then they're hooked, and they'll come out the following year. So I like that.
Makes
That's why I come
sense.
out every year.
Oh, that's great. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Some question.
yeah.
Where's your podcast going to be this time next year?
No idea. So it was funny. I was hesitant to even call this a podcast, and we'll see if that's even what this becomes. But um, where I'd like to see it go is, so the thing that I'm hooked on is the origin story, right? Like two guys just talking trash, and then it turns into this backyard thing, and then now it's like we're raising four figures a year and setting Guinness World Records, like just having a good time. So
Yeah,
when I hear stories like those, I mean, I could just sit here and talk about that kind of stuff all day. So I figured I might as well, if I could hit the record button and do some little editing, and then
mhm,
I don't know, like throw it on my little social medias and get other people to hear your story that I found fascinating. That's my way of sharing the things that I find interesting. So
that's
if a year from
cool.
now I can find, more people with stories like that want to hang out with me for 30 minutes and let me record it, then that's what I'll do.
Oh, that's great. Well, and I'll just throw one thing in there with what you're saying because I love your answer. But I don't want to short shrift the community that we have here in Lee Summit in Kansas City because you said four figures a year. Dude, we broke six figures. We
Oh,
we
really?
have granted over $115,000 to clean water efforts since we started.
Mm.
Last year, we granted $33,000 from a one night event. That's
Wow.
how behind us this community has gotten. Yeah, it's this community, man. I cannot tell you enough about this community. It is, they're all in. It's great.
Sorry, I shortchanged you there.
No, that's not me.
Yeah.
It's, I swear,
Yeah.
it's the community, man.
Yeah.
It's what they bring.
That's great. So $33,000 last year, one night event to eat some chicken wings and then provide clean
Right.
water to people who need it.
Yep. Yeah. $33,000, roughly 29,000 chicken wings.
Wow.
We're sneaking up a little bit, more
Right.
than $1 a wing.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah. Well, Seth, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your impact on this community. I look forward to hearing more of these non-podcast podcasts.
We'll give it a shot, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, man.